Hey guys, welcome back to Red Devil TV. Portugal versus Turkey tomorrow night. I know this is a Man United channel, but I got to do a preview for the Portugal-Turkey game. I support Portugal, I support Man United. So let's get straight into it. Portugal have not won a trophy since 2016 against France in the finals. And look, back then, we all know about that tournament. Portugal did not have a good group stage, drawing every game against Hungary, Austria and Iceland. And even the knockout stages, I think we only won one game in 90 minutes, which was against Wales. Croatia, Poland, it went a distance, and so did France in the final. So look, in terms of what's the problem with Portugal, why have Portugal been disappointing in the last few tournaments? We look at the World Cup, went out to Uruguay in the round of 16, and look at Belgium last year in the round of 16 as well. Look, I thought in that game we actually deserved to win against Belgium. However, it does not take away my opinion from the fact that we were terrible for the group stage for the most part. I thought only France, who played decently, and against Germany and Hungary, it did not impress me whatsoever. And look, what's wrong with this Portugal team? I mean, look at the team. For a long time, I've been saying this for a very long time. Portugal, for a good, I want to say a good 10 years, ever since that 2004, I think it might have been the Euros where we lost to Greece in the finals. Ever since then, Portugal's team have not been good. I mean, look at the 10 years from 2006 to 2016, from when we won the finals in the Euros 2016. Portugal have not had a good team. I mean, look at the players. Look, the likes of Quaresma, Ronaldo, Nani, and Pepe were basically the players that carried the nation, the Portuguese nation, in international tournaments. I mean, look at Portugal before that. I mean, Ronaldo has basically been one of the players who has carried this Portuguese side, and almost like, weirdly enough, ironically, made people think that Portugal have been one of the biggest sides in international tournaments, and they have not been. If you look at the squad, if you look at the team, if you look at the managers that have worked, Paulo Bento, Santos obviously managed Greece before, and when you look at, I mean, even I would even argue that Fernando Santos, when he got Greece out of the playoffs, I forgot what year it was, into the international tournaments, that even they had a slightly better team than we did. I think what kept Portugal competitive in some of these tournaments was the fact that we played as a team. And that's it. Look at the 2012 when we lost in the semi-finals to Spain on penalties. However, I would still argue we did not have the talent to compete with other international teams. Look at the likes of France, Belgium. These teams have had phenomenal players for years. I mean, it's only now that Portugal, I want to say within the last few years, I want to say between 2018 till now, where we've really got an abundance of talent. And that's it. Look, the likes of Diogo Jota, Bruno Fernandes, of course, Ronaldo still here, Ruben Diaz, Cancelo, Nuno Mendes, Ruben Neves, Moutinho has been here forever as well. João Felix. So many players here where you look at and it's like, even our second team is still a very good team. And for a long time, like I've said, we have not had a team to compete. And Ronaldo has carried us through many games. I mean, 2016 were carried into the semi-finals by Ronaldo. When we almost lost to Sweden in the playoffs, but we managed to win 3-2 to get into the World Cup. We've been carried by Ronaldo, the likes of Quaresma, the likes of Pepe into 2016 Euros tournament. But what's gonna be different against Turkey? Turkey have, in my opinion, a great team. I think they are. I think they have a good defense. I think Soyuncu, Demiral. I think where they lack a lot, Turkey, is they don't really have much pace in their team. And I think that's going to be a big issue. I'm not going to act like I know a lot about Turkey, which I don't. I was disappointed to see them go out in the Euros like that. I did see the first game against Italy. That was the first game I saw, which was the first game of the tournament. And they were very disappointing. And I really think that pace is something that lacks in their team. Whereas with Portugal, you've got a lot of skillful players. You've got the likes of Bernardo Silva, who's very creative, who can play in the midfield, who can play on the wing. The likes of Bruno Fernandes, who can also play on the wing, also play in midfield. And, of course, Ronaldo still here, someone who's a devastating goal scorer. João Felix, who's currently on great form, for someone who's got a lot of pace, a lot of skill. And Jota, someone who's been phenomenal for Liverpool this season. And look, I think there are weaknesses in the Portugal team. The likes of Cancelo not available for the Turkey game. Who else? Pepe got COVID. Ruben Diaz is injured. Nelson Semedo is someone who I don't necessarily rate too much, but someone who's good in the back five, even though we don't play a back five. Semedo is a player who can be the difference in the game. I feel like he's someone who is great going forward. He's got a good cross on him. He's very skillful, quick, got a lot of pace, but defensively he's very suspect. And 1v1 situations, he's suspect. So look, in terms of the lineup, let's go for it. Against Turkey, who would I go with? I'd go with a 4-3-3. I would go with Delo at right back, someone who, as a Man United fan, I've been impressed with Delo. I think since the beginning of the season, he was suspect in the beginning of the season under Ollie. He's slowly gotten better defensively. I think his attacking output is actually really good. I think he's good on the ball. He's a good dribbler. He's got a good cross on him, but he needs a bit more consistency in his crossing. Cedric got put into the squad. And before I get into the lineup, actually, players that are, again, Renato Sanchez, another player who I think is one of our best players in the Portuguese national team in the midfield, and he's not available for this squad. Apparently, I think, is it a yellow card here? I think he might have a yellow card. I don't think he's actually injured. Pelinha is someone in the midfield who I think will miss. I like Danilo, someone who can also play centre-back. I like William. But these are players who I think, personally, from the last few years, if you're a Portugal fan, you've seen how Fernando Santos, in the beginning of tournaments and even in qualifiers, has played Danilo and William together. Players who are centre defensive midfielders, very defensive-minded. And look, perhaps, there's always a discussion to be made. There's always a debate to be made on whether the decision is right to be playing these players. But in my opinion, you cannot play two defensive midfielders in a team where we have so much attacking talent. I would much rather see Bernardo Silva in the midfield and put Bruno on the wing, rather than play Danilo, William, and then Bruno. I honestly think that is very similar to the situation under Oli, where you got the likes of McFred, where they can pass decently. They're not great passers of the ball. They're not long range passers of the ball. They are not players who you can consistently say, like a Rodri, like a Fabinho, who can get the ball forward and you can trust them defensively. You look at the likes of William and Danilo. I think they're better defensive midfielders than what Fred and of course what McTominay are. Much more experienced as well. I mean, William has had a good season at Betis as well, and Danilo's been okay for PSG. He's played in the centre back position a couple of times as well. But there needs a balance, and of course, as we've seen with Man United, past the games this season, Pogba and Bruno have worked in certain games, have not worked in majority of them. The balance that Man United have had this season have been when Matic, Fred, and for example, a Pogba play or a Matic, Fred, and Bruno play, because there's a good balance there. You need a defensive midfielder, you need a box-to-box, and you need more of an attacking midfielder. And I would argue that in this game, I would go with Delo at right back. I would go with, at this point, I'll go with Jose Font, someone who's a captain at Lille, who has been pretty solid for them for the last 2 seasons or so. I'd probably go with Gonçalo Inácio, who is a Sporting centre-back. I was very concerned with centre-back. And a centre-back has been a position this whole, the whole decade between 2010 2020 where we have not been filled with centre-back talents. We haven't. Ruben Diaz is our best centre-back. Pepe is still good, but he's getting old. Same with Font. I'll probably go with Gonçalo Inácio. Of course, Jalou got called up by Fernando Santos, so that's going to be interesting as well. So I'll go with those three. I'll go with Delo, Gonçalo Inácio, and Jose Font. Left back, I'll go with Nuno Mendes. I think he's a player who is still quite young, but he's a phenomenal player, Nuno Mendes, in my opinion. He's got everything you need in a left back. Rafael Guerreiro, I wouldn't be opposed to him starting. Someone who's played for the national team multiple times, who has not really let us down a lot of times. Also, I've got to mention Rui Patricio. I think it was a crime that Jose Sá wasn't picked, because now that Lopez has picked up, was it COVID or an injury or whatever, he's been picked now. So I didn't understand why he wasn't picked in the first place. I think he's been the best Portuguese goalkeeper in any league in terms of form. I think he has been. So Rui Patricio will always be a keeper that Fernando Santos will pick because of what he's done in the 2016 Euros, and he's bailed Portugal out of quite a lot of important games. So I also go with Rui Patricio, but I think Jose Sá will deserve a chance maybe in the game as well. It's a 50-50 for me, to be completely honest with you. In terms of midfield, look, we need a good balance. Sanchez is not available, which is it's a pity. It's annoying, honestly. I would have liked to see him play. I would have liked to see Pelinha and Bruno Fernandes. I think, again, defensive midfielder, a box-to-box, and a more attacking midfielder. I think what Fernando Santos is going to go with here in the midfield is, I think he's likely to play Danilo and William, which really annoys me. And I think he'll go with Bruno Fernandes as a more attacking midfielder. And look, there's a lack of balance there. Everything will be relied on Bruno. William and Danilo will play extremely defensive. Danilo will drop into the centre-back positions once the fullbacks go up. And look, I think that's what he's going to do. I think he'll go with Jota on the left, Ronaldo up top, and Bernardo Silva on the right. Personally, with the team that's available right now, I would probably go with either William or Danilo in defensive midfield. I wouldn't really mind. Matheus Nunes is another player who I highly rate, box-to-box midfielder, someone who does a similar job to Renato Sanchez, very physical, good on the ball, can be creative as well, and he's got that goal threat as well. I'll probably go with him, and I would probably go with Bruno Fernandes. There's a good balance there, but I wouldn't be opposed to playing William, for example, possibly even João Moutinho and Bernardo Silva in the midfield. You've got a good balance there. Moutinho, more of a box-to-box. I know he's older, but Ruben Neves not being available for this game because of his injury. I'd probably look to play maybe Moutinho in the midfield. But right now, at this current moment, I'll go Matheus Nunes, William or Danilo, and I'll probably go Bernardo Silva in the attacking role in the midfield. I think he's a lot better at being the creator in the midfield, and I would love to see him switch with Bruno on the wing. I would love to see Bruno coming into the midfield, Bruno going out wide, Bernardo going out wide, Bernardo Silva coming back into the midfield, Bruno going out wide, putting them crosses in, because Cancelo will not be in for this game. Delo's got a good cross in him, like I mentioned earlier, but I would love to see Bernardo Silva and Bruno interchanging in the midfield and on the wing. And I'll go with Ronaldo up top. And on the left, look, I would love to see Jota, but I would also like to see Felix. It's going to be very interesting what Fernando Santos decides to go with. And yeah, that's it. In terms of this game, I think Turkey are going to be a tough opposition for Portugal. I don't think it's going to be an easy game whatsoever. And in finals, if we beat them, we're probably going to get Italy. And is this Ronaldo's last World Cup? It's terrifying, because if it is his last World Cup, he's probably going to go for the Euros in 2024, the Euros. That's probably his last tournament. This is his last World Cup, but it's not his last international tournament, in my opinion. But it would be a shame to not win a tournament that, that's all that's left for Ronaldo. I know it's not all about Ronaldo, but, he's 37. He's not got many years left. It would be amazing to see Portugal do big things in the international tournaments. And I love international football. I love Portugal. I love football in general. And it would be amazing to see Ronaldo and these Portuguese players, where, like I've mentioned, this is the best team we've had in ages, win the World Cup, and we have one of the best teams for it. So guys, let me know what you think. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.